Hello! Welcome to the Cup Night channel. My name is Shane, and today I'm going to be connecting to the energy of the sun to bring forth a message for you. So thank you for being here. Yeah. Shout out to Dougie from Twin Peaks Season 3. Any Twin Peaks fans out there, shout out to you as well. Absolutely one of, I'm just going to go ahead and say it's my favorite series of all time, for sure. R.I.P. David Lynch, you are a legend. Okay, so let's get into the message. Yeah, today is November 16th, 2025, and it's about 10, it is 10:21 at the time I am recording this. And I have the actual position of the celestial bodies that is observable with our eyes and telescopes and binoculars and things like that. So right now, a lot of people are saying the sun is in Scorpio, but actually it is physically in Libra. And it's actually just exited this box created by the constellation of Libra. So there's this like breakout energy here. Breaking out of this container. Venus is trailing right behind, about to enter this container of some kind. But yeah, there's some kind of energetic, massive creative breakthrough. The sun is like creative expression, right? It is the source of all life in our solar system. Without it, we would not be here. So, yeah, on the pre shuffle, I got the moon. So we have the sun and the moon coming out to play in this reading. And for the archetypes, I got Eros. So yeah, once again, this idea of creative energy. This is very specifically like erotic creative energy, right? Uh, so I'm thinking like sacral chakra, the color orange, especially with the sun coming through. So all the, red, orange, yellow, Roy, that part of the color spectrum being emphasized here. And then we have a little bit of balance with the moon, which to me represents some of the cooler colors. The GBIV part of the color spectrum. All right. So if we look at the true sky chart, which reflects the actual position of the celestial bodies in the sky, you can see the solar glyph is right here. It is at 11 degrees of Libra. There's the little ticker. And it's in the 11th house. So we have 1111 coming through there. Make a wish. Now's the time. Yeah. So Sun in Libra in 11th house. This is like Libra is like harmony and fairness, balance, justice, equality, those kinds of things. And the 11th house is like the broader community of the world. It's like, the internet, right? Like these big social organizations of the world. So I have a feeling this message is going to be very meta, very global in some way, which is exciting. I like doing those kinds of readings. So let's see what wants to come through. We're going to start with a random figure, randomlist.com. I love this website. It's got tons of random generators, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I just love this. Behold the power of random selection. So true. Randomness is so much fun. Yeah, so let's see what comes through when we open this up. The piggy. Oh my gosh. That's fantastic. Yeah. Um, it's funny, yesterday when I was meditating, I was seeing the color pink a lot too, and that kind of makes me think of Eros as well, because pink is like, for humans, it's like kind of like a fleshy color. Also pigs. And pigs are often used in clinical trials because of how their system is very similar to ours. In what ways, I could not tell you the specifics. I just know that um, that is the case, which in some ways is kind of sad. But if it's done in a humane manner, I guess it's not. But it's kind of this like creepy sci-fi idea of like, the pig doesn't really get a say in it, right? They're just kind of like selected by these higher intelligent beings, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna run these tests on you, a little dark. That's the moon coming through there. Yeah, so we do kind of have this dark, erotic, creative energy coming through. It's like something to do with value, because the other thing that's standing out to me here is this diamond in the middle of the lips there. And then of course the pig makes me think piggy bank. So once again, there's this emphasis on the idea of like money or valuable items, right? And also savings or like a store of value. Something something that's hidden away, right? Stashed away, the moon. The moon is all about the unseen things, the dark. Okay. So I also want to get a couple of nouns here, and then I'll pull some cards. I'm gonna make this smaller. I'm seeing snails and key though. Okay. So we have base, distance, comparison. Hmm. Base at a distance in comparison. This is giving me the vibes that maybe something you had done in the past. Because to me, the moon represents it's like ancient energy, right? Things of the past, things that have been buried and forgotten about, maybe, that are creative and valuable. So it's almost like something you had done in the past is being evaluated with this comparison coming through. Um, this is may have something been something that happened or is happening currently at a distance from where you are now, in some kind of base, some kind of facility, maybe somewhere where you used to work. Maybe you left something behind that was very valuable and also mysterious in some way. And it actually provided a lot of savings potentially for whatever this facility, this base is. And there could be some kind of evaluation going on. It's being compared in some way to something. All right, let's go a little bit deeper there. Let's see. What is this comparison at a distance about? We know it's somehow related to value, whether that be like monetary value or I don't know, it could be like ease of use. That could be a valuable thing as well. If it was like a system that you left behind or some kind of object that is used in a specific way, some kind of process maybe that you helped create or that you just did create. Okay, we'll let that one come out and I'm gonna get one more. Okay, there it is. Oh, wow, two more came out and the Emperor looked over. Four Pinnacles. Yeah, so this is giving me the base vibes, right? And also the savings vibes. You can see it says prosperity down there. So we got that piggy bank energy coming through again here. The first one to come out was the Page of Wands, and I am not shocked. This guy has been just all over all of my readings for a while now. So yeah, there's something about like fresh new idea relating to something that was done in the past. Ooh, we also have the Queen of Wands. So here's that confident creative energy. Yeah, something that was summoned from within, right? This is that like internal self confidence that enables you to do the act of creation, which with the Emperor, that is that masculine energy coming through, and you see it says authority. This is also giving me like institutional vibes as well, or that whatever this comparison is, um, it is being either overseen by someone in a position of authority or a group of people. I'm going to say a group because we're dealing with the 11th house, right? So a group of people in a position of authority, and they are looking at how this whatever this is like intimately involved in some kind of valuable process within this base, this institution. And then finally, underneath the Emperor, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So you can see this caring. So somebody, I feel like this was something that was left behind, and it was left into the care of somebody else, right? They've kind of been watching over this thing. This thing, if it was something to do with you that you left behind, they've been kind of like keeping an eye on it and taking care of it, making sure everything's running smoothly. But now there seems to be something going on where I don't know, is something about it is being evaluated. Why is it being why is this process, object, program, whatever, why is it being evaluated? We're just gonna pull three here, see what we get. We have the Knight of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and Temperance, and also Eight of Swords. Okay. So underneath, at the root of this, it is being evaluated because there is some kind of restriction coming up, some kind of block. Maybe some group is stuck for some reason. They've reached a wall, and it could be a self-imposed wall. They can't see past whatever this is. It's like, they're using all their mental energy to try to get out of this bind, but it's really just like entrenching them even more, and they can't really see their way out of it. So that seems to be the reason why this thing is being evaluated or compared to maybe other things right now. So we had first of all, the Knight of Pentacles. So this is slow, steady, successful progress, right? This is like the tortoise in the story of the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise ultimately wins because he conserves his energy and takes his time, whereas the hare goes as fast as he possibly can, burns out all of his energy, and then loses the race, right? So yeah, turtle and rabbit energy also coming through here. And we had the Six of Wands. So whatever this thing was that was built or created, it was successful. It was victorious. It was very useful. It provided a lot of value. And finally, we had Temperance, and it was harmonious. It was a good addition to the environment. Temperance to me is the flow state of an environment, like being in tune with the processes around you, letting things flow. It whatever this was, it facilitated an ease of flow. It allowed energy to flow in a successful way, in a victorious way. The Six of Wands. And there was a lot of time invested into this thing. It took a while to get this right. And that's why it's so successful, because it was given the uh, attention and care. The Knight of Pentacles is showing up right underneath the Queen of Wands here. Was given the care and time that it needed in order to grow into something harmonious and victorious. But now now that there is some distance between you and whatever this thing is, those who are still using it, who are still caring for it, are running into some kind of blockage. And they are needing they need a resolution. Let's get more about the blockage. What is this block about? Okay, Ten of Wands. Okay, so there's some kind of like energetic burden. Maybe some new processes that have been uh, demanded by this base, this institution, this organization, whatever. And let's see what else wants to come out. I'm kind of getting that like whatever these new requirements are, these new burdens are, it requires some kind of change to this thing that was created. Okay, this fell face down. Page of Cups, yeah. Possibilities, right? Yeah, so this is fresh energy. Emotional. So this situation could be emotionally draining with the Ten of Wands because the Ten of Wands is like a very burdensome energy. In the Rider Waite Smith depiction of the tarot, it's a person holding a bundle of wands and it's blocking their face and they're just trudging forward and they're holding all 10 wands by themselves. There's nobody else there to like help them. So whatever this comparison is, it's they're looking for um, new possibilities, new ways of approaching this this new burden. It's like, and it's also an ending of something else, right? So maybe the way things were being done before is coming to an end. So the responsibility for the old way of doing things and this new cycle is also bringing about this like this problem, right? Because it's putting them in the Eight of Swords. It's kind of trapping them somehow. They don't know how they're going to handle it with the thing that they have. Yeah, this requires transformation. Death on the bottom. And this is major transformation. So whatever this problem is, it requires like a fundamental shift in the way things have been done for a while now. So let's get one more. Okay. Three of Cups. Yeah, so there's a coming together in a celebratory way. This could be some kind of reunion, especially when we had the moon coming out, right? That's to me all about the past energy kind of coming back up, and that makes a lot of sense for Mercury retrograde, right? Often during Mercury retrogrades, things from the past tend to get like dragged back out. It's almost like revisiting a previous cycle, but hopefully now you have kind of leveled up and you're able to see the previous cycle in a new light, in it with fresh eyes, a different perspective. And whatever this is that might be coming back around, it's coming around in a new way, and it's kind of a celebration, right? Like it's a good time. So whatever this was that was left behind, this thing, this process, this program, this object, whatever, it had a really big impact on this space. And yeah, I mean, yeah, now we have the Hierophant on the bottom. So this is like an institution, right? And you can see on the bottom it says join together. So there's this energy of like a reunion coming together. So I'm gonna put all these cards back. You may be hearing from the past in some way, whether that be a former job or a former organization you were part of in some capacity, somewhere where you had a big impact in like an intimate way to the organization that brought a lot of value, a lot of creativity, like it solved a problem. And I'm seeing underneath Eros we have the tier. So this like this parting, whenever you left, there was there is this recognition that something valuable is being lost. You can see the tier is it's got gold in the center and then green surrounding it. So it's almost like this. There's an emphasis on the heart here, right? The gold to me is like the center of the heart, and the green is like this the enclosure of the heart, right? Okay, let's get a few archetypes here. See what archetypes are we dealing with in this situation. And then I'm going to ask, why is this coming up now? I mean, obviously it's because there's a new problem. Okay, yeah, we have the prayer. Yeah, somebody has been like stuck in a very heavy, burdensome situation, and they've been asking for a solution. They've literally been praying for a solution to this, and you know, possibly they haven't got it yet. Okay, we have the shaman coming out. So what's standing out about this card to me, especially in this situation, is one, the hand reaching out into the void, right? Trying to find something valuable, and then my finger is landing here on this diamond. So value is being emphasized again here. The number 16 or the number 7 could be significant. But yeah, someone is like grasping in the dark for anything that they could possibly get their hands on to make this situation better. And this might be a reaching out to you if you were the one involved in the creation of whatever this thing was. Yeah, and then finally we have the shapeshifter. So like I said, something needs to change. Pieces got to get moved around. There is a new way of that things need to be done, and whatever this thing was that they have been relying on needs an update. It needs to be shapeshifted. Number 15 or the number 6 coming through. There's a bit of an energy of chaos here. On the bottom we have the animal. So this is like instinctual awareness. The number 19 coming through, which is also in the tarot, the sun card. Yeah, somebody knows that you are a shapeshifter, you're flexible, you are able to flow with changes and adapt. And they know that they need to reach out to you, that you are the answer to their prayers. Take it as it resonates. If it's not you, then it's the person you're thinking of that this is related to. But they know that, like, rejoining with you is the answer, is the celebration, is the revelry they're looking for. Which, I mean, that's super flattering, right? Yeah, that's really cool in some way. But so I'm going to ask, for the person who created this thing that is so valuable, what is this situation like? How would this situation turn out? Is this a good reunion? Is this a lucrative reunion in some way? Whether that be like financially or just emotionally or all of the above, or is this a situation that needs to be avoided? Let's see what comes out. Like, by reuniting with this past energy, are you going to get dragged back into a past cycle that you've already gotten yourself out of, that you don't want to get involved in again? That's what I'm wondering here. Let's see. There does seem to be a heavy emphasis on finances with the piggy bank energy, right? You know, so it's almost like they also know that by reaching out to you and getting you involved in this thing again, it's going to save them a lot of money and time. Time is money, right? As they say. All right. Oh, okay. We had one flip over. So we had the Eight of Cups, withdrawal. Yeah, this is the walking away, right? So you've already walked away from this thing once, and you've moved on to other things, right? Possibly better things. Eight of Wands is usually like an upgrade. Yeah, Three of Swords. It wasn't easy to walk away from this. There was definitely a lot of sadness, upset that was caused by this departure. But we want to know about this reunion. Is the Eight of Cups. Okay, let me just get a few more. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Bear with me just a second. So we had the star come out. Yeah, creativity, right? Like I said, something was created. You were the star in this situation, or this person you're thinking of was the star in this situation. They created something very valuable, something that they poured a lot of energy into, a lot of themselves into. Still, I'm not getting quite a clear answer on my question of like, would this be a good thing to rejoin with or not? Because we have the Eight of Cups and the Star. So, as a direct answer to the question, the Eight of Cups is kind of implying like, walk away. And the Star might just be confirming that like, yeah, you know what you're worth. Yeah, once again on the bottom. Three of Swords. There's a lot of sadness and grief associated with this situation. Let's see here. These two cards fell out. We had the Four of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. So this reunion could bring some stability back to your life if you've been feeling a little chaotic, a little unstable, especially in like finances. But there's this suggestion to stop and really think about it. The Hanged Man. Um, but yeah, I mean the Four of Pentacles. Once again, this is that like base energy, right? There is prosperity here. There's money involved, but I mean, why did you walk away? Maybe that's what you need to consider. Why did you walk away from this in the past? You know, this is one of those situations I feel where it's not really like it could be a good thing for you to rejoin whatever this is, but it could also be a good thing for you to not rejoin. It's not necessarily a black and white situation. It's like it's gray. It's somewhere in between. Like no matter what decision you make, there are pros and cons to both, right? So this is one of those things where making a pros and cons list could be very beneficial in the pause, right? So pause, evaluate the situation on every level, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. If it feels out of alignment with who you are now, then I would say walk away. Just get out of there. Just, I'm so glad you see the value in me. I'm so glad you see me as this star, but I left for a reason, right? And I'm sticking to my guns. I followed my instincts. I embraced my truth. Alethea, that's what it's all about, right? So you can see here, this is like black and white, like things are clear. So to reach this state of like, you know what you need, you know what you don't need, truth, right? Then you're gonna have to do some heavy internal reflection, some self-evaluation. Really thinking about like the person you've evolved into now, the person you were then when you were there originally, um, and the possibilities, right? Because this may seem like a really good opportunity, but what other opportunities are out there? Have you already been waiting to hear back from other things? Like, you know? Ooh, yeah, this is a tricky one, whatever this is. That when the past comes back up, especially when it's things that you were heavily involved in and you actually enjoyed to some extent, it seems like, and you had a really big impact, it can be hard to ignore an offer to reconnect with something like that. But only you know if that could be a good thing or not. Let's get some verbs for advice, and then we will maybe I'll pull some additional cards. We'll see. Okay, yeah, program. Wow, I was literally saying this could be some kind of program, like a process or a literal program. If you're a coder, you may have written an actual program. Scare, yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna keep this whole list actually. So we'll just use this as the as kind of a view into what's going on, and maybe there's some advice in here as well. So people are scared. Um, yeah, I mean they're literally like, oh my God, like I'm, hey God, give me an answer, please help. You know, they're praying. Typically, unless you're somebody who prays all the time, you know, most people they only pray whenever they're in dire straits, right? There's a lot of buzz going on around this. There's a lot of talk, like comparison. There's an things are actively being compared. Yeah, advisement. People are they're looking for answers, right? They're they're looking for someone to advise them on what to do. You may be that person they're looking for. Like I said, vanish. Yeah, vanish. That's Eight of Cups. Withdrawal. Ghost them. You know, maybe not ghost them. You know, but that's kind of what it's saying. Is like, well, for one, in the past you did vanish from the situation, but you may need to do it again, right? You may need to keep in line with your original decision and just remain vanished from the situation. Guard, yeah. Yeah, this could be something that is very guarded, especially if it has to do with finances. You know, that's often sensitive information for businesses or institutions, organizations, right? So whatever this is, it's it's guarded, it's highly valued, as you said before. Balance, yeah. There's some elements of chaos that they are experiencing, and they're trying to restore this level of balance to the situation. They're looking to be rescued. Something got messed up. Wow, these words. Oh my God. Yeah, they want to reconnect. Connection. Yeah. They want somebody to lighten the load. Like I said, that Ten of Wands that came out, they're experiencing a heavy burden, a heap. Yeah. There's this new heap of energy, right? So heap as a verb is to like pile on, right? To heap. You know, let's get an alternate definition for this. Oh wow, it's funny that computer science came up here. Okay, immediately. That's funny. Yeah, heap is a data structure in computer science. I used to be a program. I mean, I still like coding, but I don't really do it all that much anymore. But yeah, heaps are cool. I'm not going to go over this, but it's interesting that that was the first thing to pop up. Heap verb definition. Let's see. So this is as a noun, a group of things placed or thrown one on top of the other. Yeah, so it's like a pile of energy, right? It's just things are piling up a great deal, a lot. We have heaps of homework tonight. It's like there's so much piling up. They're just burdened. An old or rundown car. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so it's this idea of like they're stuck, they can't move. Their vehicle is no longer moving them forward, right? It needs an upgrade, it needs a tune up. Why are it's interesting that it gave me these okay, here we go. Transitive verbs. To put or throw in a pile. Yeah, it's like things are just being actively thrown on top of them. Like it's just seeming like it's not stopped. To fill completely or to overflowing, to bestow in abundance or lavishly. Oh, that's a positive definition of it. So there could be a very generous opportunity here because they know how valuable your involvement would be. To collect in great quantity, to amass, to lay up, to accumulate, to throw or lay in a heap, to make a heap of, to pile. Yeah, so I think we get it at this point. So yeah, these are very descriptive of everything that I just said in the reading. Like all of these words are very appropriate to the situation, but also I asked for advice, right? So in light of advice, yeah, literally advise. um, I don't know. It seems to be saying don't get involved. Keep your guard up. Stay away from it. Maintain your balance. but also there's this other side, right? It's like you have this. Okay, so let's take the word balance as like a center point here. Seven. That's funny because I see the number seven as like a balancing number because you have three and three, and then one in the middle, and that one is like a pivot point for the three on the side. So you have three, six, seven, right? So it's like a fulcrum. It's a balancing factor. So you have this balance between staying gone, sticking to your guns, keeping your guard up, and then also um, like rescuing, like getting involved, like being the hero, right? Getting involved with this messed up situation, reconnecting, lightening the load. So the way I see it, yeah, let's do it as seven, right? So you have three before, three after. So you can be involved in advisement. Um, there may be, I don't know, vanish. It's almost like this first set of three words is saying like give them some advice, but don't get too involved. Like keep your guard up and remain detached from the situation. And then these next three set is like saying like, okay, if you do get involved, things are really messed up, and this is going to reconnect you with the past in some way, which may not necessarily be like a great thing for what you're trying to do now, where who you are as a person now and your goals and dreams and visions now. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get just a little bit more. I probably should have just reduced this to three words, but let's get some cards just to round it out. Draw three cards to close out the reading for advice, and yeah, we'll be done there. Oh, okay, that one threw out. So Nine of Wands, perseverance. Yeah, to me, this Nine of Wands is that like stick to your guns energy, right? So if you feel you have completely left this situation behind and you don't want to get involved in it again, not even a little bit, then keep it up. Like keep going. Even though you may be struggling financially in some ways or whatever, like don't go back. There's better things ahead. This could be a test in some way, right? To see how far you've come, to see what your values are. Like, do you just value stability and money over, freedom of movement and adventure and growth? Yeah, Page of Swords. So you can see it says awaken there. So this is that like studious, fresh perspective kind of energy. This is like really evaluating. So there might even be like this, the advice here is the recommendation to, excuse me, remember how worn out this work made you feel in the past, right? Nine of Wands is traditionally shown as a guy wearing a headband. He's kind of like injured and he's leaning on a wand and he's got all these other ones stacked up like a barrier. So it's this guarded, tired energy, right? And this Page of Swords is the way I have it laid out. It's looking right at that Nine of Wands, and it's kind of like saying, like, do you remember the truth of this work? How exhausting it is? How much red tape there may have been involved, right? Nine of Wands and the Eight of Swords that came out earlier is giving me like heavy red tape. Like there's a lot of barriers involved in this work, and that might have been one of the reasons why you left it behind in the first place. All right, let's get one more here. Okay, yeah, and then to round it out, how great is that? The moon. Yeah, the unconscious. This is going to require you to really reflect and go deep within yourself to determine how best to interact with this past energy. And on the bottom, we have the Ten of Cups. once again, another completion energy, whatever this was, like you left it on good terms when you left the first time, and do you really want to reopen it now? Because you had a good ending the first time. So if you go back, you're, you are literally revisiting an old cycle, and it might not be a bad thing necessarily, but it has to be something that you truly want. Because if you don't truly want it, if it's not your vision, right? Ten of Cups to me is a card of vision. It's like a vision of the ideal scenario for your life, right? Very emotional thing. Then, it's a no. It's a you need to vanish from the situation. Okay, that is all I have for you on this one. Yeah, this seems like it's a very heavily emotionally loaded thing that's coming back up from the past. Um, but it's gonna be a tough test, and whatever choice you make is the right one. You know, it's the choice you make is the right choice because you are the creator of your life, so you get to decide what you want in your life. But it's always good to pause and really go deep within yourself and ask, is this actually what I want? Would this take away the opportunities that I would rather focus on because I would be so tired, right? Nine of Wands. Or should I just keep persevering? Also, Knight of Wands, flip side of this, and focusing on learning these new things that bring me this sense of fulfillment and harmony and bring me closer to this vision of my life, this new vision of my life, this thing that you have remade yourself into, right? The shaman and the shapeshifter. I mean, this is a powerful combo right here. This is like, this is you being in tune with the universe, with your heritage, your ancestral energies, those kinds of things, remembering how powerful you are as a creator, and also being so adaptable and flexible and open to new opportunities, and knowing that you have this ability to ask for what you want, right? The prayer. This is reaching out to what you want, the version of your life that you actually want. So you just need to get really clear on what is this Ten of Cups for you? What is the vision of your life that you want to bring into reality? Because if going back prevents that or delays it massively, then you probably don't want it. You probably don't want to go back. Okay. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you found something valuable, useful, entertaining about this message. If you liked the video, please like it. It helps the channel. Have any thoughts? Feel free to share them below in the comments. Other than that, yeah, take care of yourself as always. Keep your heart open. Bye.